Smart Building Collective is the institution behind the Smart Building certification. And really what we're doing is building the world's first kind of crowdsourced certification. What we realized after certifying 20 buildings or so is that no building is the same. They're all completely different. And so we renamed the company last year to the Smart Building Collective because we really believe that this is a conversation to have with everybody. To work with partners like Neowit about different aspects of what is a smart building and what is the best solution in the market, what are the best things we're seeing in buildings. All of these things are just extremely exciting, and we need to be kind of having the conversation together, hence collective. From the beginning, we've always said that it's not about the data, it's what you do with it that matters, right? And then there are 1,000 scenarios within a building that can benefit from digitization, from technology. And we have a number of modules in our certification where we're looking at how well do you have control over how the asset is being utilized? How well do you have control over how the asset is performing? Sustainably, energy, water, these types of things. How well are you creating a healthy and productive environment with good air quality and sound and light? How safe and secure is the asset? And how is the end user experience? How should we support user behavior and collaboration? And all of that is actually brought together with connectivity and infrastructure, making sure that the building has connectivity and infrastructure, because without it, everything falls over. And then integrative design. How do we, with the least amount of technology, maximize the value in all of those areas? And it's not just about the technology, it's about human interaction with that technology. And I think that's where the certification is maybe a bit different than other certifications in the market, is that we're really looking at the continuous life of the building and how does an organization structure themselves to make use of technology and make use of what they've put in. Because you can build the smartest building in the world, but if you don't use that technology, is it smart? You know, I think that's maybe the question. What we're seeing right now after certifying buildings the last 4 years is that we're actually seeing now more technology being put into buildings than is actually being used, right? And so I think over the course of the next couple of years, there's going to be a real true rationalization of what technology is truly adding value to the bottom line, to the organization, to the sustainability goals, ESG goals, these types of things. So I think it's really important to think about that rationalization and linking value to those. And I think that the certification actually really helps that process. But I think it's about making sure that your organization is fit and structured in a way that can use that technology, use that data, and constantly optimize the space. So I think you can't underestimate the need for that human touch and that organizational structure to make sure that it's used in a useful way. And then integrative design is a fascinating topic, right? You see some buildings that do all of this with 30 technologies, and they work hard to make sure that those technologies all work with each other. You have others that do it with 6 technologies, you know, and there's everything in between. Every technology partner has a small or large solution, narrow or deep. You know, they come in all different shapes and sizes. So you need to find partners that you get along with, that you're willing to sit around the table with for a long time and work this stuff out, because everybody wants to buy a smart building. They just want to buy it and be done, right? I bought the smart building, you know, we're good now. But actually, a smart building is just the beginning of the journey. You know, it takes a lot of work. And smart buildings, as simple as we are all trying to make it, it's a complicated and challenging and really complex. Always evolving. Absolutely. And also different per asset, right? Per builder, per tenant, per user. So the certification that we've done is we certify it on the total level, which is kind of the holistic comparison, one building to another. But we also certify on those subcategories. And that way we allow the context of the building, the uniqueness of the building to kind of show itself. And that's really fundamentally important. Now we're still in our historical way of dealing with real estate, right? The stakeholder map is very fragmented. There's clear kind of cuts from the handover where that's not my responsibility. We move it on, and we see really two distinct owners that are having different experiences, right? We have the developer who's building for the sake of handing it over, selling it, whatever, and they're having a much harder time translating that value of smart to a future owner or tenant, because smart is also technically challenging and it's complicated and there's a lot there. But then we also have these developers who plan on holding on to the real estate, and they're having a much easier time knowing exactly what to put in the building because they know what they want to do with the building. They know what they're trying to do. But I think the work that we need to do is get closer, have the developer and owner get a better handle on who is going to be the tenant, who's going to be the user, and so that they can design more purely for that person, or that entity, that company. Because I think that the challenge right now is that there's a disconnect there, it breaks. And then translating that value is very, very challenging. And I think it's important that when we design solutions, or also for us, when we design our certification, that we're giving each of that stakeholder what they need out of it, right? To be thinking about what does the owner or the developer or the investor need, and what does the tenant need, while still, of course, listening to them. And I think the biggest challenge as well is that a tenant already has systems. They already have operating processes that they run. So we need to take that into account as well to make sure that we're supporting them where they are. Yeah.